Happy Thursday to everybody. It's April 9th, and just another day in the hood. Here I am in the very familiar couch doing stuff on my computer. Most of it stuff that I don't really need to worry about, you know, having to supervise for a while. All I see is blinking lights, and that's pretty good. And yeah, this is the last half of spring break for Long Beach City College, which is, I had envisioned at one point that I would have been up in Northern California, actually able to enjoy a vacation with a paycheck. But obviously that didn't happen. And, it's just the kind of way that things are going right now. Uh, I think that it is starting to feel normal, the part where you wake up and you really don't have to go anywhere. And it's like this eternal summer vacation that you really didn't ask for, but at the same time is kind of nice to have, sort of. So I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm trying to think of what else has gone on in the last few. I did. It's still raining outside, and I usually when I do this, I have the curtains closed because of the backlight compensation that this webcam does, where it actually darkens the entire area. And also because it's so dark and I really don't have much ambient sunlight coming from any of the other doors over here, I actually have one of my um, video lights that I normally strap to my camcorder when I'm giving interviews. And that's actually just sitting on top of one of my extra tripods. So that's how I'm able to compensate for the light in here. Lighting is never the greatest. I think um, one of my wish list items is those vloggers that have those really nice ring lights. My next door neighbor has one and it's pretty sweet. Hey Anna, how you doing? Greetings from happy Los Angeles, a very wet Los Angeles. I know that it's probably like almost dinner time for you over there in Pennsylvania, but it's good to hear from you. I figure it's been a few days since I put on one of these, and really, I mean, I've had a couple nice little things to do. There was a short ride down to the port of LA. And for those who are living not in California or near LA, so Los Angeles is one of the two parts of the country that have one of the naval hospital ships. So the USNS Mercy is docked over where the cruise ships are normally in the port of LA, and the USNS Comfort is in New York. So we have the boat, and I live about 15 minutes away from the boat. So it was actually one of those things where, I was with Steve, and he was the one with the camera. If you saw the Facebook post of the YouTube uh, film that I put up, that was definitely a cool thing to do. I wasn't able to get any actual footage of the Mercy, but it's there. Ooh, Anna's still working. Anna's good work. Sarah, how you doing? Greetings from LA. I know you are in Minnesota, if I recall. And so I have a few East Coast friends that are chilling in and saying hi. I would figure that the weather there is a bit cold at the moment. It's cold here too. It's just wet and miserable. So, of course, when the sun was out, I was able to take my drone out and play a little bit. That would have been something cool. If I was able to attend like one of the motorcycling events, if I was able to pack my drone and actually film with a drone, that would be really sweet to do. I would have totally done that. But yeah, so far today has involved just maintenance on my online courses. I know probably shouldn't be working this week, but I mean, what else is there to do? I do have some book. I have a book that I'm actually reading, which is actually shocking for me. Paula, how you doing? Nice to see you online. I like this interactive stuff. I think everyone's everyone's online today. I think for me, this is episode 107 or 108 of my online broadcast because I just like to talk for no particular reason. But I was saying though, I did start doing some uh, reading, which is really weird for me. I normally don't read books extensively. You would think I do, but I don't. But I'll put a shout out to my friend Mike because he actually wrote this book with his co-author several years ago, and it's called Meet Me by Moonlight. It's actually pretty good right now. I'm about, oh, I want to say I'm just over a quarter way through the book, and do recommend this one. You can find it on Amazon. Of course, he was nice enough to, you know, autograph the back of it. I thought that was kind of funny. Um, but that's something I'm doing. I'm also catching up on some episodes of Picard, and I'm realizing how much more of a Trekkie I am in regards to things. Hi, Steve. We were just talking about you. No, no, seriously. I was actually talking about the ride from Saturday where we stuck the GoPro on your bike, and then you followed me around, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's going on. I've been busy with a couple other things. So I haven't really touched the Xbox as much as I'd like to. Although I'm finding that I think everyone's busy enough that not as many people are on the Xbox as I thought they were going to be, which is okay. I think we all have stuff to do, or ways to entertain ourselves, at least for the time being. I will say though, I do appreciate all of the kind words about Daisy. Yeah, that was a difficult time, especially because she was withering away quite slowly. And the thing about rats, and as wonderful creatures as they are very stubborn and they refuse to do things that they don't want to do. And obviously, Daisy didn't want to go that quickly, and so she was really, really trying to stick around. But I did give her a very dignified burial, and she's with the roses now. Daisy with the roses. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds appropriate. So yeah, I have had quite a few rats over the years, and they've just been wonderful creatures. And I still have. I'm still at five rats and the two hamsters. The two hamsters did get their cage cleaned today, and now they're sleeping. They got a little disgruntled when I picked them up, because they wondered why I woke them up out of their slumber. They have gotten quite big, though. I mean, these hamsters are just like, you know, and I just have to make sure I hold them every few days so they don't forget human touch. Otherwise, they could get a little snippy. Hamsters are strange. I've never understood hamsters. They're cute, but they're just not my cup of tea. Although they are entertaining to watch when I have my computer here and they're just over there and they're just spinning their wheel and just running all over the place. And their nightly task of trying to escape from a cage that has no bars so they can't climb. It's kind of funny to watch. But they are very persistent little things. I think rodents just are. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I am continuing to do a little bit of reading, finishing up Picard. I'm a little behind, so no spoilers. I'm going to be watching episode 8 right after I finish this, and then maybe I'll upload a little video of some drone footage that I filmed yesterday when we were in between rainstorms. That was really cool stuff. I mean, I kind of have limited range in regards to where I can fly the thing. Also, because since I'm not really leaving my house, most of my flight time is probably only within a few blocks of the house. So I really can't go too far with it. I am looking forward to taking the drone out to other places and actually like filming other things. I mean, my drone's been used for quite a few things in the last few weeks. Some of the projects are things that I haven't shot, but I will say that it does have a little bit of notoriety because it did help with a project involving making fun of the Church of Scientology. I might as well talk about this since there's nothing really else to do. But anyway, there's a YouTube channel. If you look it up, it's called Reckless Ben, and this is a group of people, which one of my roommates was a part of this. But he did a lot of the video work, and so of course my drone ended up being a part of it. And Reckless Ben did this like 10-part series on exposing Scientology. Now, for the people who know that Scientology is not what they claim it to be, and Tom Cruise is still a nut, even though he's a great actor. Um, there are several churches of Scientology in Los Angeles, and what had happened was one of the pranks that they were doing as part of the season finale or the finale of their series was they hired somebody with one of those professional spotlights, and they went to the front of the Scientology building in East Hollywood and broadcast, like, basically put a spotlight on the building, spelling out the word sucks. you need to look this up. It ended up on Reddit, and that's how I found out that this actually happened. Of course, my former roommate had been hinting at this for a while, that he was going to do it. His group was going to do it, and of course, no spoiler alerts, right? And as soon as I saw it on Reddit and it became a big thing, I went, "Oh my god! I really hope this guy didn't get arrested." And it actually turns out that the police helped when they found out what those guys were doing. The police actually looked the other way and let them do it. I thought it was funny, and of course, the normal death threats from the church and all that stuff. Fortunately, nobody died in that, but I thought it was hilarious because it's online, and I had found out that one of the final flights of the drone before it ended up striking an object and having to go in for repairs was filming a shot, an aerial shot of the actual scene of it being, uh, being posted with the word "sucks" on it, and I thought that was kind of funny. So that's probably one of the more entertaining things that I've heard of with my equipment being used. I know, go figure, right? I guess, does that technically make me an executive producer if I'm the one providing the equipment? I don't know. But anyway, on other things that probably won't get me arrested, I'm still continuing on with my local gym and their Zoom workouts, which, funny enough, one of the unintended side effects of that is that I inadvertently work out 3 times a week for an hour at a time on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, because when the Zoom broadcast is on and there's at least 5 to 7 people connected to the Zoom conference, I'm working out behind the camera, and that's quite nice. I will say though, it's kind of weird because you have a day of nothing, and you're not really working on much, and then you go full blown workout, and then you're all sweaty and tired, and then you're like, but I didn't do anything else. But hey, you know what? If anything, it prevents me from having to do too much binge eating and a lot less calorie consumption because there's really not much going on. I think it's like I'm busy with other things just to keep me occupied that I can't even reach for the chips, which is good. And I hope that everyone else is trying to do their best and eat through their supplies and not really go too nuts on the chips. I've been trying to throw a few more pieces of fruit down my throat, because you want to try to do that. On other random projects I had going on, there's a lot of Facebook games going on right now. I think one of the latest ones was, answer 4 questions about yourself. That's a funny one. Another one that really annoyed me, to be honest, was the California motorcycle community's posting of a modified motorcycle bingo. So I have to tell this story too. So motorcycle bingo is basically what it is. It's a bingo board that's online. It has a bunch of things that you have to check off whether or not you did it on your motorcycle, and then you post it. So what you do is you take the blank one, you take a screenshot or you save it. You go in with your phone, you edit it as you see fit, and then you re-upload it. Well, the first one was funny because I'm like, okay, I was able to get all of them but one for almost a complete blackout. But then I ended up seeing another one that was actually geared toward female motorcyclists, but it was pretty obvious that it was written by a dude, and it had stuff like, and this really bothered me, and actually this is the reason why I had to pretty much like make a revenge bingo card. There was something I think regarding riding with only your shirt on and then one of your tits like hangs out of your shirt. And I have to say, even when I'm not, riding my motorcycle, I usually don't have that problem. So that really bothered me. So of course, in response to that, I'm all like, okay, this had to be written by someone who's not a real motorcyclist. So I decided to go in and create something called Extreme Motorcyclist Bingo, which reflects motorcyclists who are actual long distance riders and take the job seriously. And so, and I designed it in such a way that even I couldn't black out the whole thing. And I sent it to a group, a motorcycle group on Facebook that actually does ride, and that was actually more entertaining. So I guess sometimes you just kind of have to take your frustrations out and just create something that's better. So anyway, if you're interested in that, it's actually on my wall, but it has like boxes such as you wear something, or you own something from Aerostitch, which is the company that makes my suit that I wear every day, or you ride more than 30,000 miles a year, or you have ridden more than 30,000 miles in a year, Or you've successfully completed an Iron Butt Association sanctioned ride, like a Saddle Sore 1000 or a Bun Burner. Okay, like things that actual like riders try to do, not things like have you worn a skirt while riding a motorcycle. I'm like, logically that's really weird to do, but okay, as you like it. Or the other one was, do you wear heels when you ride? I'm all like, because I want to get my freaking foot stuck underneath the pedal and I can't shift. I mean, I don't understand why nowadays it's still the point that female motorcyclists have to be looked like that. I mean, come on, I the kind of stuff I wear gets me ignored at Victoria's Secret. I mean, I don't go out trying to look like I'm trying to pick up a dude here, okay? I mean, no, dudes ride on the back of my bike. I don't ride on the back of theirs. Unless it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm too tired to get on my bike and I want McDonald's. That's the only time that I'm going to be on the back of another guy's bike. And I'm very selective which guys I ride on the back of. So, yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, the suit that I wear protects me from also random retail people at Victoria's Secret, other than the asphalt too. So there's that. Aside from that, yes, the temptation to buy things is real. I'm trying not to. I'm actually kind of shocked. I think I'm actually going to get paid tomorrow, which is weird because I thought, obviously there's a little bit of residual from, getting. I haven't actually worked in a school district since Friday the 13th of March. And, I am still continuing to work for the college, but, on a very limited basis, as in I only have like one class, two classes that I'm taking care of. And it's not really, it's not really raking in too much. But, um, I'm really hoping that whoever passed the relief, putting your political differences aside and whatever, I'll take the money. At this point, Capitol Hill can go squabble among yourselves. I'll take the money. So, yeah, that's where we are at the moment. I am hoping that there'll be a couple extra things going on, in the next couple days or so. More paper shredding. Um, I did get to trim the roses and the bushes around the house. I had said in a couple other posts that I have a very incompetent gardeners, and when I was still working and out of the house a lot, I really didn't care so much. But then I realized that the roses were really neglected, and I had the guava tree, which none of this is mine. This is all my roommate stuff. Completely out of whack. So ended up acquiring some gardening tools, and I had to Google on how to prune roses properly. And I went in about 2 hours on Sunday, went and pruned a bunch of rose bushes and got rid of a lot of dead branches. I was like really shocked at how much work that those poor rose bushes needed. But they're in front of the house and they're pretty now. Also the guava tree, and I think the peaches. If they bloom this year, it'll be quite nice. Except I'm not going all the way up there and pruning. I'm not buying a giant, prune stick like 6 feet high or whatever. But it's getting there. Um, I will say that being here in the house has definitely had me learning how to do a few things that I'm normally wouldn't be doing. But I think that being able to at least um, do some basic gardening is a life skill that comes in really handy. I mean, because you really don't need to do much to make a plant happy. And I'm glad that I now know what offset pruners are. Like, what the hell is that? And like, oh, that's what you use those for. And I found out the reason why you use those to cut plants instead of scissors. Um, and mainly it's because of the way that it cuts a stem. It doesn't pinch the still living part that you chop off. So, for example, with fresh cut roses or fresh cut flowers of any sort, using the offset pruner is is different. It definitely makes a difference in how long your plants will live. Like your cut flowers will live after you've put them in a vase, with the flower food. So I thought that was very interesting. And then also the difference between offset pruners and offset loppers. I'm going, okay. Now, of course, living here in Los Angeles and not having as much nature around you, it's not something that a lot of people seek out. But I have found that having those things is a good idea. You just got to do that. Also, I have to say, I mean, I'm not going to say any names or anything like that, but I have to say some of the memes that I have seen on Facebook, I'm looking at you like, are you kidding me? Are you sure your mother's not looking at this right now? That's disgusting. So yeah, I'm not big on unfriending people. Like, you really have to deserve it to be unfriended, but I will have to say, please use common sense when you're putting up memes and stuff like that, especially if they're just tasteless. I'm not a fan of the tasteless memes. It just bugs me severely. I don't get that. Oh, Paula, nice to see you, or hear from you, or hi. Yeah, I hope things are going well in Georgia. I'm here. It's raining and hamsters. Oh yes, and my squirrel pillow. I like my squirrel pillow. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Uh, I'm still waiting for shipping of parts to come in for Eleanor. That's one thing too that I'm also noticing is that shipping has slowed down in for certain things. I know that my motorcycle is currently non-essential parts, but I'm finding out this. Here's a fun one. If you're a Yamaha customer and you're trying to order stuff, so Yamaha has two major suppliers, actually three. In terms of where you can get your parts from that are shipped, like OEM parts from Yamaha. One of them's in Cyprus, which is here. It's near Long Beach, and the other one is in Georgia. The third one, I believe, is in Wisconsin. Apparently, because of this COVID-19 shutdown, all the Yamaha parts are being funneled through Wisconsin. So things are just taking forever to get to California. And the part that I'm ordering, which isn't a very well, often stocked part, because um, it's the rotor bolts, the front rotor bolts for my for Eleanor, and it's like 12 of them. But because people don't replace their rotors very often, they usually my store doesn't carry the bolts because they'd just be sitting there for a while. That's the thing about motorcycle stores, is that they run on such low margins that they're not going to keep certain parts in stock, mainly because they'll be sitting on merchandise that's not selling. So yeah, I had like 12 bolts for my rotors, six per side. And every time you change your rotors, you should change the bolts because they've been on there forever, and you don't know if they're warped or they've lost integrity, so you just start fresh. And I didn't realize that I wasn't going to get them straight from Cyprus, like you would think, right? I get it in like 2 days. Nope, it has to be funneled through Wisconsin, and I don't even know where the hell my parts are, so I can't even work on my bike. But yeah, other things that had to be ordered. Well, the iPad that I use for doing the Zoom conferences for the um, the workouts that I do. I have attached an external microphone to enhance the quality of the audio, and yeah, it took like 6 days for the extension. Well, it's actually an adapter cord to come in to be shipped to Best Buy, but I was able to pick that up yesterday. It's kind of weird in terms of shipping things. If you've noticed issues with the way that things are being shipped, whereas certain things are coming in earlier and some things are coming in later. I'm really curious what your experiences are. I mean, obviously, shipping things directly to the house and also, food delivery are starting to become normal now. Uh, there have been some uh, contemplations on whether or not I would, return to Postmates as a motorcycle courier. Obviously, I wouldn't do it in this rain because it's not worth it. I mean, I was thinking of doing it out of boredom, but I will have to say this, for those who are still listening, my cousin is a registered nurse, and one of the things that uh, she has done, because she was actually working for one hospital and then she was off for a while, but she had a temporary assignment at one of the hospitals down the street from me, and she's been journaling the whole thing. And if there was any way, if anyone needed more convincing that they need to follow stay-at-home orders and not like effing move and get out of, like not go to the outside of the house for other reasons, reading her journal was probably the most um sombering thing that you could ever. I mean, it made me cry. And I will say that if there is any if there's any reminder that you need, all I got to do is send you my cousin's journal, and that's all you need to know. I couldn't even count how many people passed away on her watch, because as a direct result, or as because of alternative, complications because of all this shit. So yeah, whenever I see. Oh, and hi Tracy, how you doing? I'm actually just kind of talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or at least trying to. Um, but I will say that, yeah, they're really, if it hasn't been drilled in your head already that you need to stay inside as much as possible and limit trips to essential items only, and try to like do it like once and then don't do it again for a while. Yeah, I all I gotta do is send you that. It is This is the kind of stuff that, I know they're like, oh well, the media is exploding this and stuff like that. It's like, when the media is talking about stuff like, healthcare, hospitals and stuff like that being short on N95 masks and gloves, no, they're telling the truth. If they're talking about how ICUs are filled with people and it's getting insane, yeah, they're right. If they're talking about how, funeral homes are overrun right now and they're basically running crematoriums like 24/7, I don't need to tell you that that's actually happening. Yeah, I strongly suggest that you stay home, or as Samuel L. Jackson would say, you stay the home. Okay, just do it. You know, yeah, that's the big thing is contactless delivery. The last few times that I have ordered delivery, it's been really seamless. One of them is basically the person just reaches out, gives you the bag, and then you're done. The other one is they leave it at your front door and you're fine. They walk away. Um, it's Instacart too. I have a friend who's working Instacart right now, and one of his complaints is that apparently they're getting a lot of crap at the supermarkets, and it's like, no, you're working. And I will have to say the delivery people, I do consider them to be essential workers at this point. And as much as I like to say as an educator that I am an essential worker, I don't feel like my current status is as essential as the people that are outside working right now. But yeah, contactless delivery is definitely a thing. You know, and they're busy. I mean, no one's getting out right now, and whenever I do takeout or whatever, I usually try to, you know, do it like very very occasionally, or just have it delivered at this point. I did see though that for the longest time I kind of balked at programs that, like, for example, Postmates is doing a thing where if you pay like a service fee every month, all of your delivery fees are waived for as many times as you order per month. And that's starting to become tempting now. It's not something that I would normally do, but with the fact that this is delivery is now becoming a thing, I may consider it. But I've also been cooking at home a lot too, so I mean, there's that. So yeah, but for the people who are delivering right now for Instacart or DoorDash or Grubhub or Postmates or any of those right now, and I'll say this as a former delivery person, just please be careful out there. Not just in terms of you delivering the goods to whoever you're delivering them to, but also just on your way to the restaurant and back. Because people are still, even though we have less cars on the road, there are people that are still choosing to be stupid. When I'm seeing videos of motorcyclists who are doing 80 miles an hour on the freeway and a van is passing them to their right at 110, yeah, no, people are still being stupid. So please be careful out there. Um, but yeah, that's that is where it's at. In the last week, a lot of online conference games going on. Was able to run a successful round of Cards Against Humanity on Zoom, which was a lot of fun. Honestly, if anyone was to bomb that, I mean, they're just going to get horribly depraved answers. And that, I haven't had experienced any Zoom bombing in the last couple weeks. So it's been nice. I think I've only had yeah, so far I've only had one incident of Zoom bombing, so that's been good. Also, with Discord, enjoying a little bit of Jackbox TV. So I would like to thank my friends who've been on that particular channel doing that. Um, I think if things continue on, I might start poking into Dungeons and Dragons like I've been trying to, but have been horribly distracted by life and everything else that comes up. It's like, oh yeah, you have a lot of time to do anything. Truth is, you don't. You don't, because something's going to come up that you're going to have to do, and then you think you're bored, but you're not. It's like this weird limbo where like you're bored in one aspect, but you're actually busy. It's strange. Well, anyway, I think a lot of people here have probably very similar um, experiences with this, and we're just here. But that is kind of where it's at. Anyway, I think I'll start editing some video now and then watching an episode of Picard. But if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to chime in. Thanks to everyone who came in for my, of course, very impromptu broadcast like usual. And be good out there. Do your civic duty and stay put, please. And please, thank your delivery people, okay? Because this isn't easy stuff. Believe me, it's not. Alrighty, talk to y'all later. Be good. Don't drive yourself too nuts, and see you soon.